Now, I know you guys really want the plans for this one, which I don't really have since I designed it in freestyle. But I am going to show you how I did it. And maybe this will help some of you guys out there to design your own. It's not that hard. The hardest part to design is the handle, because it needs to fit really good in your hand, otherwise it's just not fun to play with. To design the handle, the first step you need to do is determine the width of your hand. Now, I found that if you take from here, where the thumb kind of ends, and up here just before your finger starts, and drew those two lines onto a sheet of paper, like this, it should really fit quite well. After you've done those two lines, you lay your hand on top of it and draw around, well, the top and the bottom, so you get the height of the handle. Now, once you have done those 4 lines, you drew some freestyle, and you should end up with something like this. Now, up here, this is where the over line is, so you can see it just fits quite well. And here it should be right about where the finger end splits, so you have the room for the trigger. This piece you cut out and lay on some thick cardboard like this. I think it's called compressed cardboard, just so you can get it in the hobby store or something. Really sturdy stuff. Once you have cut it out, you take 2 of the pieces and drill a hole right about here to make the trigger fit and mount. And then you take another piece and cut out here where the stipple lines are, or the dot lines. And the same you do at the bottom. These 2 outcuts will make a groove for the trigger to slide in. This will prevent the slider from the trigger from sliding out to the sides, which gets really annoying if it does that while playing. And the top part is simply where you mount it. Now, the first step is to glue the 3 inner parts together. Once you've done that, you take a piece of, I used this, it's a straw of some sort from a birthday flag. Cut it out a little piece just like this. It should fit right in here, so it doesn't bother the 2 other pieces. You stick it in and mount the trigger and glue the other pieces on. And mostly done, you have your trigger system now. Well, the handle system. And for the top part, to make the Wii fit snug, you take your Wii mode, draw an outline onto a sheet of paper, and the same for the sides. Cut those pieces out. And for these end parts and the back part, you draw a little different than you might think. You draw something like this. This is an extreme case, so don't draw it exactly like this. The top part is up here, where it's a little shorter than the bottom. This makes the sides go in towards each other, and really makes it like a really good tight fit, so it doesn't fall out. And remember to cut a hole in the front piece, otherwise it won't work. And for this one, I used 5 pieces. I would probably suggest you go with 7, just to make it a little thicker and fit a little better on your hands. Once you have done that, you have to glue them together with some middle piece thingy. To design this, I laid the handle and the top piece on the paper and drew out this shape that it came from, and cut those 2 pieces out and glued it on the handle. Now the handle is a little less thick than the Wiimote, so that's why it's tilted like this. And once you have that glued on there, that trigger part comes. You need to do the mechanics before you can mount the top of the Wii for the Wiimote. Now, to show this, I'm gonna take a short break. Now then, for the trigger, I'm gonna show you something you haven't seen before, and this in here. It's hard to see quite well. This feather comes from a pen, and the cardboard you see right here in the middle is the trigger. And this is again this birthday flag thing, and it gets mounted up here. Now, I don't know if I have a pin like that anymore. Let's see. You simply take this one apart. You have all you need right here. The feather. And this one, you actually need this one as well. I found this one fits very well inside the birthday. How did I put that? No more. And go out to the bathroom or the kitchen and take the black out. You don't want to get all blue. Now, once you have that, the top part of the trigger, you have drilled a hole in. It's tough to hold this. You have drilled a hole, and you fit this one in here. To make stops, the white thing over here, there's a little piece of the birthday flag, and I simply glued the first I put the feather in, and then glued the other top and piece on top. And at the bottom, I used a nail, stubbed it in, and mounted it, and gave it some glue with the glue gun to really mount it. And this should work quite well. Now, for this part over here, I used the birthday flag, drilled a hole across it, and made it long. Now, up here I cut it in half, and used a piece of like this in the middle, and glued it on this side. Then I cut two pieces of cardboard out like this, and drilled a hole in it, and again used the piece of the pen to make the mount, and then I nicked it down here. It actually broke for me, so that's why it has some tape on here. This is where it has to move like this. So you're gonna cut it here, bend it, and make this piece up here really long, just like that or something. Then you take your, okay, this is tough now. You take your remote, lie it in, see where it ends, and then you glue this one to that space. It needs to just touch the button, like that. And it doesn't need to be 100% precise. You can still calibrate a little when you glue this on top. And, well, make sure these two are really good, tidy fit. Glue it all together, and then you simply cut this piece off so it has the right length for the Wii button down here. It doesn't need to really push hard down on it. So you simply run it up like this. So just touch it, and then you simply mount it back together. Take your glue gun and glue the pieces together. And now that should be it. You have your, now it's not working. Well, you need to really make sure you just touch it, like that. And once you have glued it all together, make sure to let it dry, so it really gets sturdy. And to gluing these together, I didn't use the glue gun, I used super glue, worked quite well. And then you have the basics of this gun. Now I need to reassemble this one. And for you guys out there, I have something over here. This is the basic design for the Mark II. All these drawing things, I do those when I don't know how to tackle a problem. I simply sit and draw on my designs and make them look like more like what they should be. So these holes are for nothing and stuff. But as it stands now, my Mark II looks like this. The trigger is made of wood this time, and instead of the birthday flag, I actually used bolts. You can see it up here. The feather, I think it's strong enough for the job. It still needs to glue the middle part in here. So you can see, as I talked about with the other gun, if you don't have a groove, you can, I'm going to see this, you can slide it to the sides, and if you slide it over to the side, like that, you can't pull it down and get stuck and stuff. So it's really important to make the groove even in the Mark I. But this is how far the Mark II is right now. I'm just working on this when I'm relaxing. I find it really relaxing to make stuff with my hands, and this is a great project for that. Now I hope I will show you more of this soon, so keep tuned.